I don't know why I like this game more than Buffalo KC, which I know is going to be awesome, but I don't know what it is, but I just really believe in this Niners team. And I believed in it for a while. I bet on them at 17-1 a while ago. And anytime I've ever had real success with playoffs and gambling, it's like identify the team heading into the playoffs that you think you want to roll with and kind of back them. And over again, it feels like they've been disrespected considering how much talent they have, which I think they have an incredible amount of talent. They're just built to beat this Green Bay team. I don't know if they will, but if I'm Green Bay, I'm like, shit, this is the team we have to play. The weather's going to be freezing cold. Now, we've seen, we learned last week in the Buffalo game, if there's no crazy wind chill, the cold doesn't matter that much. But this is just, I just feel like San Francisco's built for games like this. Rodgers will get to 20. He always does. I was looking at some stats with him. He's played in 23 playoff games. How many times do you think he scored 20 plus points in a playoff game out of those 23?
I'd assume more than half.
23.
Oh, okay.
23 for 23 for scoring 20 plus in a playoff game. So the Niners know, all right, we got to get to like 24 or 27. Do you have confidence that they can score that many points?
Yeah. They've beaten them the last 3 times they've played in the playoffs, all with Rodgers at quarterback, Kaepernick twice, and of course 2 years ago when Raheem Mostert ran for about 600 yards.
Yeah.
I look at it as every team in the league knows that you have to stop Deebo Samuel. Every team knows it. And yet Mike McDaniel and Kyle Shanahan draw this thing up and they find a way. And what is so cool about this Niners offense is that George Kittle's had 9 catches the past 4 weeks total.
Yeah, what happened to him?
What happened? He's blocking his ass off. He hasn't said a peep. And he's like, all right, if that's what I got to do, let's do it. Jawan Jennings comes out of nowhere, blocking guys. Ayuk, blocking guys. Juszczyk, Eli Mitchell. Like, these guys are all in. And then the offensive line, I think, is the best in the sport when you got Alex Mack and Trent Williams just pushing dudes. So they come in as the bullies and as the alphas. And it's like, here's this Northern California team going into Lambeau. But I think it immediately is just neutralized because you look at the way they play football. And it's like, no, we're the more physical team. And I look at those Packers with the linebackers. Devondre Campbell has been amazing this season, but they better be in for 60 minutes in cold weather of bringing down Deebo and Kittle and Juszczyk and getting hit by Trent Williams. Like, there's a lot there. And my last point with this one is the Packers get all these guys back, and it's Darius Smith and it's David Bakhtiari, and Jair's was out there week 18, but he's going to play again. And maybe Billy Turner goes, and it's like, well, they're fully healthy. I don't know. They haven't played all year. And here comes this Niners team that is like this fully like revved up engine. And I'm saying this to you on Thursday, Bosa and Warner are not missing this game. Those guys are dogs. They are ready to go. So like, I don't know if those guys coming back is suddenly like, oh, wait, Randall Cobb's back after 6 weeks. All right, let's write it off. Like, Rodgers is amazing. Devontae Adams is amazing. This team has played really good football, but I don't know if they're up for this kind of fight.
Well, you also had a San Francisco defense that I thought did an awesome job against Dallas last week.
Awesome. They had 7 points through 3 quarters.
Whether Kellen Moore took CD Lamb out or the Niners did, somebody took CD Lamb out because I'm terrified of CD Lamb and he did nothing in that game. They had their secondary, which we know is healthy because we didn't see Josh Norman except for on special teams.
Yeah.
So good sign that he wasn't out there. They have pass rush. They're able to move with 4. I just think they're a Super Bowl team. And I felt last week, whoever won that Dallas San Francisco game was making the Super Bowl. I still feel that way. And I still think the Niners can do this. Rodgers, since he won the Super Bowl, he's 7-8 in playoff games. Lost to Eli Manning twice.
Yep.
Lost to Kaepernick twice. Lost, now, one of those Eli losses was before the Super Bowl. So I guess he lost Eli once, lost Kaepernick twice. Carson Palmer.
Yep.
Matt Ryan. Russ Wilson. Brady. Jimmy G. So you hear this stuff about like, oh, you don't want to go against Rodgers. It's like, well, if you went against Rodgers the last decade, you were 8-7. I think this Packers team that he has is on the higher end of the typical Rodgers playoff team, but certainly not invincible. And again, we talked about it earlier. Their defense was 22nd in DVOA this year. Now, they have guys coming back. You just laid out that case. Special teams, 32nd. They're not going to be able to fix that in time. It's just a team that feels like a regular season team to me and not a 12-degree weather, I'm trying to go to the Super Bowl team. And if they do it, it'll be because Rodgers is great. But either way, it's going to be a close game. We're getting all these points.
Yeah.
And I think the only reason we're getting it is because of Jimmy G. Because we know he's going to throw one terrible pass to the Packers. I know that. I'm factoring that in. I'm also factoring in, I know the Packers special team is going to fuck up at least once. So to me, that cancels out.
And, Jimmy G didn't practice or was limited in practice because of a shoulder issue. Like, he's good. He can grip the ball. Like, they don't rely on him to do a ton anyway. And remember that playoff game, he threw the ball 8 times and they still won by that many things.
Yep.
The first time they played this season, Deebo Samuel did not play running back. It was a totally different offense. That was week 3. And even so, the Niners had him, and it took Rodgers pulling a rabbit out of his hat, and he does so often. The reason I'm scared to pick the Niners outright is simply that Rodgers is on a mission. This might be the last dance, and this guy is so freaking good that at the end of the day, he always will be in that game. And at some point, because all these playoff losses, it's not because of him. Their defense is giving, in the last 3 playoff losses to the 49ers, I want to say, his defense has given up an average of 35 points per game. When they lose these playoff games, it's not because Rodgers plays bad. He plays well. He never lays an egg.
Right.
It's just that the defense can't do enough for him, or there's some crazy play call decision like a 3rd and 9, or there's an onside kick from the Seahawks that the wrong guy goes for it and Bostic is botching it up. Like, it's freakish stuff. It's not because he hasn't played well. So that's the thing.
When you just go 20 plus every single playoff game, that speaks for itself. So the Niners know we have to get to at least 24 to win this. I am afraid of Aaron Rodgers. I don't want anyone to think otherwise. But I don't think he's the reason you can't take the better team in a playoff game on the road when you're getting 5.5. Right now it's 5.5. It was 6 all week.
Do you see Devontae Adams just absolutely abusing that defensive backfield, though? Don't you see Adams going 128 for 3 touchdowns and being like, shit. Like, because that could happen too.
So why didn't it happen last week with CeeDee Lamb?
I don't know if Lamb is in the same
Adams is better than CeeDee Lamb, but I don't know. I was really impressed by the Niners last week. And it was a game that they easily could have lost. I think it was a game that I didn't even feel like they played that unbelievable. Like, they left a lot of points on the table in the first half.
They were conservative.
13-0, and you're like, How
is it only 13? I'll give you another pro-Niners take on this one. So Kyle Shanahan, if he had lost that game, it's like, this guy can't coach in big games, whatever. The Green Bay coaching staff, LaFleur worked for Kyle Shanahan in Houston, in Atlanta, and in Washington. Joe Barry, the defensive coordinator, worked with Kyle Shanahan in Washington for years. Shanahan knows him inside and out. Nathaniel Hackett took over for Shanahan in Tampa, and those guys speak the same language from the Gruden stuff. So, like, I don't think there's going to be like this coaching edge from Green Bay either. Kyle knows all those guys inside and out, and Joe Barry, especially the defensive coordinator, was Kyle's guy forever there in Washington, and like, he knows that defense. So coaching edge, I'm going with Shanahan, despite LaFleur's great record. And then defense and the running game, I think, could be a lot. I feel fine picking the Niners, and that's crazy considering Aaron Rodgers is lining up against them at home.